Hey, Teddy K here for the Best Buy blog, and in this video we look at 4 Sony microphones that are ideal for vloggers and content creators, and they come in different shapes and sizes. Good video does need good sound. I think that goes without saying, and so if you are in the business or you're interested in creating video or just creating content and you've got the video side maybe down but you're not sure about the audio, this might be something that's worth a look. Now, I have to preface this with saying that these are Sony microphones made really for Sony cameras, and that's select Sony cameras. On top of that, with the exception of one of the mics, the LV1, which is a lavalier mic, I'll talk about in a bit. That one can pretty much work with anything, but the rest of them are really only about Sony. And so right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm going to just jump right into the first one. So this is the B10, the ECM-B10. This is a shotgun mic. Now I'm using it right now, so it's mounted on the top of the camera. I'm not wearing anything here. And so you can kind of get an idea, at least as I'm talking to you here, about how it picks up. So there are various settings on this mic that you can set. So there's a lot of granular control as to how you how to aim the sound, how much wind or how much noise you want to cut out, whether you want to go digital or analog. You can control the gain, things like that. So there's a lot that you can control on it, and it also comes, of course, with a dead cat or a windscreen, however you want to call it. So I'm going to show you a brief clip now of me using it outside.
I think one thing that's good about it is that it is fairly compact in size relative to other shotgun mics from other brands. It is, of course, being a Sony product, that's ideal and really only for the compatible Sony cameras. That's not all of them, by the way. The A7 IV and up pretty much is what you can expect. Anything lower than that, unfortunately, it won't work. However, you may be able to get away with using it if you connect it through the microphone connector. So it does come with a cable which allows you to connect it to other Sony cameras as well, but it won't be the same as this, where you have no cables whatsoever. You just basically put it onto the hot shoe and turn it on, set it the way you want to, and you're good to go.
So there you go. It's not bad. I mean, I think it's a pretty good mic, especially if you're using it for sort of close proximity, which is really where shotgun mics really excel. I don't know. I didn't really hear a notable hiss. Some people have claimed that they do. I don't know. I think it depends. Maybe, I don't know, your ears do. Maybe I'm not sure. I like the sound. I tend to prefer more lavalier mics or mics that clip on, but I can see the value in a shotgun mic, especially one that is this good and is this small. And so that's one reason to consider the B10 if it fits with what kind of content you're creating. Okay, next up is the G1. This is another shotgun mic. It is definitely a step down from the B10. It doesn't give you any of the granular controls that you can really make use of with that. Here it's just basically a plug and play situation. So you plug in the mic and that's it, pretty much. So it's omnidirectional, so it will pick up sound not just straight ahead, it will pick up sound from behind as well. So if you are using the camera and you're talking and someone else is talking, you can record both ways. Everything though that it's recording is in one audio file, so it's not going to separate them in any way, although that is also the case with the B10 as well. Now this is a very small mic. For shotgun mics, as far as shotgun mics go, this is so small that you can not only put it in your pocket, but you might have to be careful about losing it, potentially. Like that's how small we're talking about here. It does come with a pouch, so you can always keep it safe that way, but it is something that, again, given the small size, is really, really versatile, really, really useful, and the kind of thing you kind of keep on a camera as well. So if you're shooting stills, you're shooting video, and you're looking through the viewfinder, it's so small that it won't really interfere with you in any way, or definitely make the camera feel any heavier or heftier because of it. So you can leave it, you want to put it in your bag, and it fits with the mic on top, not a problem.
So this is the ECM-G1, so this is a step down, clearly, from the B10, and that's probably obvious just by what you're hearing here, but at the same time, also, it's just a straight-up shotgun mic, so you're not going to get any of the features that you get from the other one, any of the adjustments, clearly, that you get with the B10, where you can really decide and kind of get a little granular in how you want the mic to work. That is not going to happen with this one. This is just straight up, you put it on, and it's just going to record whatever it hears. Now, it is bi-directional in the sense that it can also record you as you're you're holding the camera. So if you're holding the camera, you're talking to somebody, or someone's talking to you as you're got the camera pointed at yourself, it will record both sides. But it records both sides based on it will record both sides into one audio file. This is the same thing that happens also with other Sony mics as well, that at least that I'm reviewing here. So again, if you are recording both two people talking at the same time, that's only going to come in one audio file as opposed to two.
Okay, now we got the W2BT. So this is not a shotgun mic, although there's the receiver that is mounted on the hot shoe, and then you have the transmitter here. So this is of course recording me, and then it's sort of pushing it over to the receiver, which then records the camera. This is an ideal setup if you want to move around. You don't want to be you're not working close proximity all the time. So for example, you want to record yourself further away, especially if you're working with someone who's going to operate the camera with you, or you're using a gimbal, something where the distance works for you and the audio is not compromised because of it. So as you can see though, this is it does stand out, and it is a bit cumbersome because of it, which is why one thing you can do about this is to use a lavalier mic. We'll show that in a second, but both of these do run on batteries, so they need to be charged if you're going to use them before you use them, and you got to make sure that they're charged anyway. The camera is not necessarily going to power the receiver. I tried that and it messed me up in one case. Also, I should apologize, I actually had footage that I recorded using these in the field outside that all messed up. It all got lost because of a corrupted memory card. So I do apologize for that, but I am using it here and you're getting an idea kind of how I sound. Max range according to Sony is 600 feet, so that's pretty good. Now 600 feet without any real obstacles in the way, but because it is a Bluetooth connection ultimately, so chances are I would say 100 feet or less is going to be your ideal distance, but hey, you can experiment with it and see what you can do. Okay, in this case now I've got the LV1 attached, so it's the same setup with the W2BT, but now I've got the LV1 lavalier mic that's connected. So I have it hooked up here, and as you can see, more inconspicuous compared to the W2BT on its own. In my opinion, I recommend buying these two together. So if this is the kind of setup you're looking for, you've got the Sony camera that works with it, then buying these two together probably makes the most sense, simply because the lavalier mic it's just easier to use. You can clip it onto yourself very easily. It also means that the lavalier mic can work with other devices, so it's not just Sony. Unlike the other Sony mics that I've noted here and reviewed, the LV1 is not specific to Sony. You can use it with anything. You can even use it with a smartphone. You can use it on a computer for video calls if you want to. It's pretty versatile, just like any lavalier mic is supposed to be. It's not going to be at the same level as something that is considerably more expensive, but again, this is just a lavalier mic. Okay, the LV1 is just the cord and the mic. That's it. There's no other, nothing else comes with it. The idea is that you would plug this into something that can bring in sound for you, right? So it could be a camera directly, or it could be like the W2BT that I've got hooked up here. This is a good setup, especially if you're starting out. I feel like if you are vlogging or you're doing journalism, filmmaking, perhaps, you're doing something, whatever kind of content you're creating, and you're not that well versed perhaps with audio, this is a pretty simple setup that I think could work. So something you might want to consider, because again, the two sides, like the receiver and the transmitter, they connect automatically. They pair automatically. There's not much to it from a technical standpoint, so you should be pretty good to go. And then it's just plug and play from there. And that's it for the 4 Sony microphones that I've reviewed here, that I think are ideal really for vlogging and for just creating video content, whatever it is you want to do, especially if you're interviewing people or just talking yourself. Whatever it is that you're doing, any one of these could work. I think you just have to consider sort of what kind of content you're looking to create and what makes the most sense for what it is you're trying to do. For the Best Buy blog, I'm Teddy K. Thanks for watching.